guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. It's that time again. We have a virtual unveil of that top-selling vehicle from Ford. What the heck is it? It's the refresh, updated, and changed up 2025 Ford Maverick. So without further ado, let's find out what the heck is Ford doing to their compact truck. Let's get to it. And there she is. That is your 2025 updated Ford Maverick. Now, the one that you're specifically looking at is the Lariat trim. And let's talk about how the trims are going to work. You're going to have XL, that's going to be your entryway, XLT. There's a new trim called the Lobo Sport trim, which I actually have a separate review of that one, which I'll leave the link at the end of this one if you haven't seen that yet. We're also going to have the Lariat and the Tremor. And the Tremor is not a package like it was last year. It's now its own trim. Now, looking at the updated Maverick, the Lariat in particular that we have here, you have a whole new front fascia, new grille, new lighting, and of course, new wheels. That's just the exterior stuff. On the inside, there's going to be a ton of changes as well. Now, let's talk about these colors. New colors for 2025. One of my favorites, especially Lori's favorite, because it's the same color as her Bronco Wildtrak. That is Eruption Green. That has been added to the color lineup. You're also going to get Space White, Ruby Red, and Velocity Blue. Now, the colors that are going bye-bye, that are being eliminated, are Atlas Blue, Cactus Gray, Iconic Silver, and Hot Pepper. So those I feel are good choices to be eliminated, especially the Cactus Gray, because I feel like everybody and their mother has a Cactus Gray Ford vehicle, whether it's a Maverick, an F-150, a Bronco Sport, blah, 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 blah. On the inside, you'll notice some of the changes, and I think the biggest thing is going to be that infotainment system. Standard across all trims is going to be that 13.2-inch landscape infotainment system setup. That's a Sync 4 setup, and comparing that to last model year, 2024, that has grown in size because last year's was only 8 inches. So now we're talking about over 5 inches more. Could you imagine if everything in life was that easy to get 5 extra inches of infotainment system screen? That's pretty spectacular. I'm digging the new grille. I feel like the grille gives it a better identity in their lineup. And of course, each trim is going to have its own unique grille. Those are new 19-inch wheels. So we're talking about nice large wheels. Those are standard on the Lariat trim, the machined aluminum with the gloss black. Standard wheel is still going to be 17 inches. And let's talk about that a little bit. So XL, like I said, is your entryway. What is the price going to be on that one? Prices just, of course, keep going up. Base starting MSRP for your XL trim, which is a front-wheel drive hybrid, is going to be $26,295 and $1,595 in destination and delivery charges. If you remember, back in 2020 during the pandemic, when the Maverick first came about, your base XL trim was $19,995. So you might be saying, well, now I'm pissed off. I don't like the fact that the price, the starting price, is more. Well, the good news is you are getting more things that are standard. Right off the bat, the 13.2-inch, that infotainment system screen is obviously larger. You're also going to get an 8-inch digital gauge cluster, and you're still going to have standard the 2.5-liter inline-4 hybrid. But what's new for 2025, because they listen to the customers, is that now you could get the hybrid with all-wheel drive. If you remember, there was no compromise. If you got a hybrid, it was front-wheel drive only. Now you could have hybrid and all-wheel drive. Now, before you get too excited, there are no MPG numbers available yet. Obviously, this is the first look. We're going to have the first drive, I'm sure, in the next few months, and then we'll have more detailed information. But what I can tell you is that the order books for this Maverick opens up August 1st for all the trims, including that sport truck trim. And if you haven't seen the review, watch it at the end of this one. And then for XL, XLT, Lariat, and Tremor trims, those will start hitting dealerships by the end of this year. So 2025 model year trucks that are going to be available by the end of 2024, according to Ford. Now, you'll notice in the back, I love how they've been able to work with the bed, because it's only got a 4.5-foot bed. But remember, that tailgate comes down, then you could have that rear tailgate guard, and that allows you to have expanded room. What's fascinating, though, is that this truck, you could put 18 sheets of plywood, and I'm talking about 4-foot by 8-foot sheets of plywood, 18 of them in that rear bed area. So it does have a lot of truck usability, even though this is a compact truck. Remember, it's smaller than the Ranger, and it's not a body-on-frame truck. This is based off, just like last year and the year before that and the year before that, going back to 2020, this is basically based off of the Ford Escape, the chassis. But I really like what they've done with the lighting, and I really dig in the front fascia. I feel like it falls in nicely with the rest of their truck lineup. Park this next to a Ranger, have that next to an F-150, an F-250. It all makes sense. Now, another thing that's exciting is that if you wanted to do more with your truck, your Maverick, you could actually do more truck stuff. There is now a 4K towing option. And I'll give you a guess what 4K means. No, we're not talking about that your truck is going to be in 4K resolution. It actually is right now. This is done in 4K resolution. What the 4K means is that they're doubling towing capacity. So now we have a package, a tow package, the 4K tow package, 4,000-pound tow capability and 1,500-pound payload capability. So that's increasing our capability. Now, if you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I don't want the hybrid. I just want the EcoBoost setup. You could still get the EcoBoost. Now, they're eliminating any front-wheel drive EcoBoost. It's all-wheel drive. So if you get the EcoBoost, which is a 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine, that is going to be all-wheel drive right out the door. There's no front-wheel drive choice. What that means is you have 238 horsepower, 277 pound-feet of torque, and it's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, whereas the hybrids are mated to a CVT. And I guess the reason why Ford is doing CVT is because of trying to get better fuel economy. So it's going to be really interesting to see what this fuel economy number is at the end of the day, hybrid power with all-wheel drive. Another thing that's new for 2025 is there is a black out option. So what that essentially will mean that obviously all the trim will be blacked out. There'll be special 19-inch wheels, and all the rest of the finishes will have that unique blacked out appearance package. So that is something that is new for 2025. Now, if you like technology, besides the 13.2-inch infotainment system screen, you have the option to get the Pro Trailer Backup Assist. This is something that, say you're going to use your Maverick to tow your Wave Runner, this will make you look like a champion when you go down to the boat ramps to put it in the water. That's where you're able to use the knob located on the dash to twist and turn to back up the truck and get your Wave Runner successfully in the water. So that is something new. There's also your 360-degree camera. I'm really liking the color options on the interior, especially with the two-tone, and I think it looks really clean, that nice 13.2-inch infotainment system. One of the things I think that is so great about the Maverick is all the storage. That's going to continue to be there. But having the new digital gauge cluster, the infotainment system, the 360-degree cameras, and the Pro trailer backup assist is really going to help just with overall use of your Maverick. Plus you have your wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and when it comes to the actual pricing, like I said, starting price we know is $26,295. That's for the XL. It's going to be interesting to see where this compact truck maxes out at. If you compare it to the Hyundai Santa Cruz, depending on how you option the Santa Cruz, that easily goes over $40,000. I think the last MSRP that I personally saw had a price of $42,000 and change. So these compact trucks, yes, they're small, they're very versatile, but as you can see, Ford is learning that they really undersold the Maverick. And I'm not talking about actual sales numbers. The sales numbers were spectacular. They probably realized that, hey, we could have charged more for this truck. And that's what they're doing now. But like I said, let me know in the comment section if you think what you're getting extra is worth the extra money at the end of the day. And I'm just curious where these trims are going to take us price-wise, especially when you step up the Lariat, because that comes standard with 19-inch wheels, all-wheel drive standard, and then, of course, Tremor, because Tremor is now an actual trim and not a package. To me, that seems like that's a perfect excuse for Ford to charge more for the Tremor trim rather than just calling it a package. But I'm glad that I was able to bring you this information hot off the press. Very, very interesting to see how these Mavericks are going to continue to sell. Let me know in the comment section. Are you excited to get behind the wheel of a new Maverick? Having the capability of doing truck stuff, but it still rides and drives like a crossover SUV? Let me know if you're digging that in the comment section. Let me know if you think it's worth the price at $26,295 plus delivery and destination charges of $1,595. Let me know down in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rights family. Gotta give it up to Lori G. Raiti and Oscar G. Raiti for making all this possible. I know Oscar really likes the Ford Maverick. It really suits his small stature, but he does have a big personality, and I think that probably the Sport Maverick will be the one that he'll be getting. But definitely check out that review at the end of this one. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.